It's time for The Instigator, the in-your-face hockey podcast that is loaded with controversy and criticism. This hockey talk rant will spark your hockey thoughts and opinions. When controversy happens in the hockey world, The Instigator is there to fire off their opinion. You may agree, but you just might wholeheartedly disagree. That's what brings you back. Get ready for in-your-face hockey talk and controversy. The Instigator is hosted by Burud and is a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio.
Good evening and welcome to The Instigator, episode number 52, recorded March 30th, 2021. I am the host of the show, Brad Burud, from Inside Edge Hockey News. You can check us out, InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com. All kinds of great podcasts on there. And this week, what do we got? What rant do we have tonight? It happened last week in the NHL, and I wasn't going to talk about it. And then, you know what, as the week went on, I thought, this just is irritating me. So I'm going to have to talk about it. NHL referee said something inappropriate during the game. But a comment that is probably said nightly amongst officials was inadvertently caught on live audio on a TV stream. Well, everybody heard it on the television broadcast, and within minutes it was all over Twitter, and it was something that the league couldn't not talk about or address, I guess would be a better term. Well, the punishment was severe. The response was quick. And I definitely have an opinion on this one. A big thanks goes out to our sponsor, Raz Energy. Hop on over to repsports.com. Grab yourself a 12-pack, a 24-pack, heck, a 36-pack of Raz Energy, 11 flavors, a new flavor just out. Type in promo code INSTIGATOR. You get yourself 15% off your order. Check it out. It is the only energy drink that I've ever had that I like 9 of the flavors. And there's no crash or that after feel when you have an energy drink. Check them out. Rep Sports. Great deals. 15% off with the promo code INSTIGATOR.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves and stirring the pot.
All right, hockey fans, this is controversial. That's usually what this show is about. It is controversy in the league. And sometimes I'm defending the league. Sometimes I'm not defending the league, and I'm going after the league. But tonight, I don't know. I'm kind of going after the league a little bit on this one, but I'm also defending them. Then in this situation, they didn't have a fighting chance of having this one turn out good. Well, what am I talking about? Let's talk about it. Last week, a play happened, and the NHL determined it was referee's Tim Peel's voice heard on a television broadcast on a game between the Nashville Predators and the Detroit Red Wings. It was last Tuesday night, so we're a week from tonight. And after Nashville forward Viktor Arvidsson was issued a minor penalty, tripping penalty, 5 minutes into the second period, on the following play, as the whistle blew, you heard Tim Peel say to the other official, Kelly Sutherland, it wasn't much, but it was a fucking penalty. Oh, sorry. Let me start there. This is an exact quote. It wasn't much, but I wanted to get a fucking penalty against Nashville early and it cut out. Obviously, the truck heard it, cut it out. Well, it went on national broadcast. And I did not know initially how the league was going to handle this. I thought this would be handled over a period of a week, and we'd probably be finding out today what was going to happen with Tim Peel. Well, that didn't happen that way. The next morning, the 24th, the NHL Senior Executive Vice President of Hockey Operations, Colin Campbell, put out a press release that stated this. Nothing is more important than ensuring the integrity of our game. Tim Peel's conduct is in direct direction to the adherence to that cornerstone principle that we demand our officials and that our fans, players, coaches, and all associated with our game expect and deserve. There is no justification for his comments, no matter the context or his intention, and the National Hockey League will take any and all steps necessary to protect the integrity of the game. It was followed by a comment saying that Tim Peel will no longer be working NHL games now or in the future. Wow. A referee that is going to be retiring, which this is irrelevant, retiring later in the year. Done. I had one of my colleagues and friends ask me, well, what if this was a referee that was 25 just getting his start? I don't know that it would be any different. It was swift, it was quick, and it was extreme. Now, if you've watched this show, you'll know that I don't necessarily frequently protect officials. But in this case, I am. Because this is a product of our messed up society right now, and not a product of poor officiating. Officials say this frequently. Officials talk about this nightly. If you didn't know this and you didn't think about this, you are not watching the game very closely. Referees aren't always consistent, and it drives fans and staff crazy. But it's the way it is. They referee and they manage game based on situations that are happening. Is that right or is that wrong? Well, I don't know. That's for you to determine. But on this night, it was on live audio. And so that makes it wrong. Is it ever right? No, it's not. But games are managed differently, and if an official tells you they're not, they're wrong. What's a penalty in one game is not a penalty in others, depending on the situation, depending on how many penalties there are for the home team or the away team. What time of the game is it? Is it in overtime? Is it a playoff game? Is it a regular season game? Is it a regular season game that doesn't matter? Is it a regular season game that is going to determine playoff implications? It all comes into play. It comes into play at every level, all the way up from the littlest kids of hockey to the pros. Now, we can put our heads in the sand and pretend that this isn't a fact, but it's a fact. It's a fact not in just hockey. It's a fact in baseball. It's a fact in basketball. It's a fact in every sport. We're never going to be happy with these officials. We're not. That's part of sports. But you know what? We've hogtied these officials now. With instant replay, we're constantly overlooking what they're doing. He shouldn't have said this. I'm not justifying his comments. But in a world where we're sue happy and we're fire happy, how come our response in this world is always, or in our country now, in our countries of Canada and the US, is just fire him. Fire him. Never mind making this a learning experience for all the other officials so that this doesn't happen again. Let's just fire him. That'll make it go away. That'll make him happy. Get it out of here. I don't think it's right. And the NHL was screwed either way. If they didn't fire him, they were going to get outlashed that they don't care and they're not protecting the game. If they fire him, now there's people like me that are critiquing the fact that is this too harsh? Should this be a learning experience or is this a fireable offense? Because if it's a fireable offense, you better be ready because you're going to be fired more than one official in the near future. Or should have in the past. You know, this world is always, instead of attacking the problem and solving problems, we're all just about pushing problems under the covers and pretending they don't exist. And that's what I feel like firing Tim Peel was like. I don't know. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to this situation. But you know what? We'll never hear another word about it. which isn't solving the problem. Working with officials and working with teams and the fan base to describe and work on situations to better their officiating is what we need. How are the other officials thinking? They're like, well, holy shit, you just fired our guy. And every one of us, if we look in the mirror, is probably guilty at some point. Well, how do you want us to ref now? Do you just want us to call everything and not look at game situations? I don't know. I think you might see some referee backlash and some more penalties being called. I don't know. Maybe that's what the league wants. I think penalties being called on when they're truly a penalty is good. I hate it when the playoffs come and, the rule book gets shoved into the duffel bag in the locker room and everything's a free-for-all. I don't like that. But I also know that as much as I criticize officials and as much as I get on officials, they're doing the best they can. And if they're not managing the game and managing situations, in my opinion, that's truly not the best then. I saw a tweet after this on last Tuesday night, and it was pretty good. I kind of agree with it. It said, the problem isn't the ref getting caught. The problem is the reffing in the first place. Call the rule book, quit dictating scores. That fan is saying, don't manage the game, manage the rule book. I agree with the rule book part, but I also do know that in any position of authority, you're hired for your judgment too. And I think National Hockey League officials have done a pretty good job of managing that over the years. And although we're never going to be happy with officials, I think this is a product of the cancel culture we are living in now. Don't address the problem. Don't address the source of the problem. Don't address why the problem happened. Just fire the problem and pray there's no more problems. Check back in a couple weeks for another episode of The Instigator.
Raise energy.
Raise energy.
Raise energy
is better than any other energy drink out there.
Ooh. Wow. That's my favorite one.
It tastes bomb.
Really good.
0 calories.
0 sugar.
0 carb.
No crash. What? I'm serious.
You're not going to get that crash.
I did not feel a crash whatsoever.
I'll drink it, I'll kill my workout, and I'll go back and I'll kill the rest of the day at work.
It's not too carbonated to where right after I'm burping up a storm.
Not just great for staying up late, staying to final. I'm about to go work out.
Felt good energy-wise. I'm still hyped from the Rays. I'm loving them, man.
Get connected. Inside Edge Hockey News can be found on Twitter at Inside Edge Hockey. You can also check out the Facebook page, Inside Edge Hockey News. Check out host Brad Burud on Twitter at Brad Burud. And if you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on all major podcast players and consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon.
Thanks for listening to The Instigator. Check back for future episodes or download the show on your favorite podcatcher. Keep up to date with all the hockey news at Inside Edge Hockey News. And check us out on all forms of social media. Until next rant, take care and enjoy the hockey action.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.